I know you, of course, said this many times. There's no way you can overstate it, but I just would like to kind of give you a chance to maybe give advice to, immigrant communities, specifically, for our, the African diaspora. Um, like, what advice would you give to them and their families who may be considering life insurance for the first time? How can they get started on this journey? How can they even start having these conversations?
I would say that with life insurance, the earlier you get it, the better. So get it when you're young. Get it on your kids when they're like, a month old in the hospital. You can put life insurance policies on your children. And also, the goal is for you to have permanent policies. So term policies are nice. They tend to be cheaper depending on your wallet, depending on what you're going through in life. I'm like, have something rather than nothing, but the goal is permanent. Because when you have something permanent, it doesn't matter when something happens. You're guaranteed to have that as long as you keep up with your payments as you should. I would say that, I'm working on educating the community about financial toxicity, educating the community about this research. And the real reason I want to talk about this is because I want people to be empowered to choose themselves. Like, I want people to understand why life insurance is so valuable. A lot of times around us, they focus on the sale of life insurance, but not necessarily the why this thing is so valuable and powerful. So, regardless of the financial benefits you get in terms of growing wealth, just protecting your life has so many benefits because we never know when things are going to happen, but we know things are happening. Every day, you hear a story of someone who's sick. Every day, you hear a story of someone who drops dead. Every day, you hear like someone who got into an accident. Like, these are things that you can't prevent. But we know that when they happen, they don't just affect you emotionally, but they affect you financially. And so I want people to see the research that's out there. I want them to see the numbers, and I want them to be empowered to choose themselves and position themselves and your family members in a better place so that no matter what happens, you're in a better place. And one of the things that, like with my friends that I've been speaking about who actually see the value of life insurance, they say that once they were able to get that insurance on their lives, it gives you peace of mind. Personally, and I know we don't like talking about death and stuff, but like personally, I have peace of mind because I know that if anything happens to me, my loved ones are good. Like, I know if anything happens to me, even if like it was an accident or something like that, like I know I have something on me. Like, I am good. Like, I'm not scared of that. I don't think about that and like, oh my gosh, like this and that, and it's not a good thing. Like, you can have healthy conversations about that. Like, you can have healthy conversations about end of life care. You can have healthy conversations about what you want to do when you get buried because you're setting up the things in place for the future, for when it happens, if and when it happens. But because we don't, even especially with like our immigrant community, we don't talk about it. It's like if we talk about death, it's like negative. If you talk about like if you were to have an accident, like what would that mean? If you were to die, like what would that mean? Like we don't talk about this. Like when we get to that point, it's like a surprise and then it's a mess. Like it's a mess. There are no finances. There's confusion. It's stressful and it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. And so I just really want people to honestly see that this thing has so many benefits on your life. You cannot go wrong with protecting your life and really educate people on the value of that. So I would say my takeaway points in the end is like get it while you're young, get it as soon as possible. Um, the goal is permanent, right? The goal is permanent. Definitely look for policies that have that living benefit aspect to it so that you can tap into it if something happens to you while you're still alive. And just continue to think about like the future. Think about your next generation. Even if you're not getting it for yourself, think about like, yo, what does this mean for my kids? What does this mean for my grandkids? What does this mean for my kids' kids, like my great grandkids? Because if you set that pace that ensures that they are properly protected, your future generations will be properly protected as well. And we won't have to be depending on the community and all these external resources to take care of us, because we'll have peace of mind to make decisions that are best for us regardless of the situation. Yes.